The world of coins. It's often the smallest denominations that tell the biggest stories. Coins that pass unnoticed through millions of hands. Coins that feel almost worthless. And coins that people casually ignore. These are often the very objects that quietly record a nation's history. Today, we are diving into one such humble but fascinating piece of Philippine numismatic history, the 1 Sentimo coin. Specifically the 1993 and 2013 issues. 2 coins separated by 20 years, yet deeply connected by design, symbolism, and economic reality. At first glance, the 1 Sentimo may seem insignificant. It's the smallest unit of the Philippine peso, a coin many people don't even bother picking up if it falls to the ground. But behind this tiny copper-colored coin lies a story of colonial legacy, national identity, inflation, changing metal values, and the evolving role of money in everyday life. To truly understand the 1 Sentimo coin, we must first understand what a centimo actually represents. The word centimo comes from the Spanish Sentimo, a reminder of more than 3 centuries of Spanish rule in the Philippines. When Spain introduced coinage to the islands, it also introduced the decimal monetary system, a structure that survived long after colonial rule ended. Even after independence, the Philippines retained the peso and centimo system, making the 1 Sentimo a direct descendant of colonial-era monetary thinking. Fast forward to the late 20th century. By the early 1990s, the Philippines was undergoing significant economic and political changes. The country was recovering from years of instability, transitioning into a new era. After the People Power Revolution of 1986, inflation was rising. Prices were changing, and the purchasing power of small denominations was shrinking. Yet, despite this economic reality, the Bangko Sentral in Pilipinas, then still operating under its earlier institutional framework, continued to mint low denomination coins like the 1 Sentimo. The 1993 1 Sentimo coin was part of the Flora and Fauna series, one of the most beloved coin series in Philippine history. This series was unique because it combined monetary function with environmental awareness, showcasing native plants and animals instead of politicians or abstract symbols. On the obverse side of the 1993 1 Sentimo coin, we see the Sentimo denomination prominently displayed. The text Republica in Pilipinas surrounds the design, asserting national sovereignty and identity. But what truly makes this coin special is the reverse. The reverse features the Katmon flower, Delinia philippinensis, a native Philippine plant known for its large, bright flowers and medicinal properties. This choice was not accidental. During the early 1990s, environmental conservation was becoming an increasingly important national conversation. By placing native flora on everyday coins, the government subtly reminded citizens of the country's rich natural heritage, right in their pockets. The coin itself was made primarily of copper-plated steel, giving it a warm, reddish-brown appearance that many collectors still associate with classic Philippine small change. It had a smooth edge, a simple round shape, and a lightweight feel that made it easy to overlook, but impossible to erase from circulation at the time. In 1993, the 1 Sentimo still had a role, albeit a diminishing one. You could combine a few Sentimo coins to pay exact fares, adjust grocery totals, or make precise market transactions. Street vendors, jeepney drivers, and sari-sari store owners still used them, even if reluctantly. But the clock was ticking. As the years went by, inflation slowly but steadily eroded the value of the 1 Sentimo. What once bought something, anything, now bought nothing. Production costs began to exceed the coin's face value, a problem faced by many countries around the world. Yet, for reasons of accounting, tradition, and system integrity, the coin remained legal tender. Now let's jump ahead 20 years to 2013, a completely different economic and monetary landscape. By 2013, the Bangko Sentral in Pilipinas had introduced the new generation currency, NGC, coin series, a modernization effort aimed at improving durability, security, and usability. The design philosophy shifted from decorative and symbolic to clean, minimalist, and standardized. The 2013 1 Sentimo coin reflects this new mindset perfectly. On the obverse, We again see the denomination 1 Sentimo, but this time in a more modern font, surrounded by simple lines and structured spacing. The words Republica in Pilipinas remain, maintaining continuity with past issues. However, the overall feel is more industrial, more functional, and less artistic. The reverse side features the Bangko Sentral in Filipina seal, replacing the Flora imagery of earlier decades. This change marked a philosophical shift. Coins were no longer tools for storytelling or cultural education. They were tools for efficiency. Material-wise, the 2013 1 Sentimo was made of copper-plated steel, similar to earlier issues, but with improved minting techniques to reduce wear and corrosion. Despite this, the coin barely entered daily circulation. Most Filipinos rarely saw it, and those who did often treated it as an inconvenience rather than money. In reality, by 2013, the 1 Sentimo had become functionally obsolete. So why mint it at all? The answer lies in accounting systems, legal frameworks, and rounding rules. Even if a coin isn't used daily, its existence allows prices to be technically exact. It also avoids sudden disruptions in pricing psychology. Removing the smallest denomination can cause public confusion or mistrust, even if that denomination is practically useless. Now let's address some of the myths surrounding the 1 Sentimo coin, especially the copper issues from 1993 and 2013. One common myth is that old 1 Sentimo coins are made of pure copper and worth melting. This is false. While the coins have a copper appearance, they are not solid copper. Melting them would not only be illegal but also financially pointless. Another myth claims that certain years of the 1 Sentimo are extremely rare and worth thousands of pesos. In truth, most 1993 and 2013 1 Sentimo coins were minted in large quantities. They are not rare in a numismatic sense. However, condition matters. Uncirculated or mint state. Examples, especially from sealed mint sets, can carry modest premiums. There's also a belief that the Katmon flower design increases the coin's value dramatically, while collectors do appreciate the Flora and Fauna series for its beauty and cultural relevance. Appreciation does not equal high monetary value. These coins are historically interesting, not investment-grade rarities. So, what is the current value of these coins today? In everyday circulation, the value is essentially zero. Most businesses round prices to the nearest peso or 5 pesos, rendering the Sentimo irrelevant. Many people store them in jars, drawers, or forget them entirely. In the collector's market, a 1993 1 Sentimo in circulated condition may be worth only a few pesos. In uncirculated or mint condition, it might fetch anywhere from 20 to 100 Philippine pesos, depending on demand and presentation. The 2013 1 Sentimo is even less sought after. Because it lacks artistic appeal and was rarely used, collector interest is minimal. Mint condition examples might sell as part of full NGC sets, but individually, they command very little value. Yet, focusing only on monetary worth misses the point. The true value of the 1 Sentimo coin lies in what it represents. It is a physical record of how economies evolve. It shows how inflation quietly reshapes daily life. It captures the transition from artistic coinage to functional design. And most importantly, it reminds us that money is not just about buying power, it's about trust, identity, and continuity. The 1993 coin tells a story of a nation proud of its natural heritage, still trying to make small change work in everyday commerce. The 2013 coin tells a story of efficiency, modernization, and the quiet acknowledgement that some traditions are no longer practical, but still preserved. For collectors, the 1 Sentimo is a time capsule. For historians, it's evidence of economic reality. And for ordinary people, it's a forgotten piece of metal that once mattered more than it ever will again. So the next time you see a tiny copper-colored coin lying unnoticed on the ground, remember this: it carries decades of history, policy decisions, and cultural meaning, all compressed into a single Sentimo. And sometimes, the smallest coin really does tell the biggest story.